Hi, I'm Lynn Wise, broker associate with Bramlett Partners. So today I'm going to go over new guidance from Texas Realtors regarding real estate agency. So these changes stem from the NAR settlement, which starting in August 2024 required agents to enter into written agreements with buyers before they toured a home. So the reason for that requirement is really consumer protection. So it's so that buyers know who's representing them, how that person is getting paid, and who's paying them. So buyer representation agreements were common before that settlement, but it was also common to show a house to a prospective buyer without having a representation agreement or having any formalized agreement or conversation before showing that house. So the NAR settlement caused some confusion for buyers and agents who wanted to show homes but who weren't ready to sign a full agreement yet. So this is super common if, for example, a buyer is looking on a public website and they click on a button that says showing request, the button online, and then an agent contacts them and offers to show them the house. But the agent and the buyer have never met in person. They aren't really ready to formalize their agreement and to have a representation agreement yet. And it's a little uncomfortable for the buyer when the agent is trying to get them to sign something right away and they haven't even met. So that's why these Texas law changes are so important. So one big change to the Texas law is that now an agent can show a house to a prospective buyer without representation. However, that still needs to be in writing. So I've seen a lot of confusion among agents and buyers who are pointing to this law, and they think they don't need paperwork. But the new changes make it very clear here that a signed, non-exclusive, short-term, showing-only agreement is required, even if it's not a representation agreement. So, long story short, every agent runs their business differently and they're going to have different requirements. Some agents will require buyers to have an actual representation agreement before going and seeing a home. But some agents, it is legal for an agent to show a house with a showing only agreement. What's no longer allowed is showing a home without having anything signed. So you have to have something signed in order to show a home now. And the effective date for the Texas laws is this coming January 1st, 2026. So what about open houses? So if the open house is being held by an agent within the listing brokerage, then, that's fine. Nothing is required to be signed. But, however, it is common for agents to hold houses open for other listing agents outside of their brokerage. And in that case, they do need every single person who's coming to the open house to sign a non-representation sheet when they come in the house. So hopefully this is helpful to both agents and to buyers. Let me know if you have any questions.